Hello everyone, it is officially Hollow Thankmas, so be prepared to see more cheesy intros and outros like you just saw. Because I am a very festive person, I'm trying to make all themes of this month's videos Halloween. But I guess I won't need to try too hard considering all of my artwork is pretty scary. Let's do some clay cracking, featuring my adorable doggo. So I bought some clay especially for this occasion. Yes sirree, I got a whole bunch of it, like a ton, so much. It's like 1.75 ounces. This is why you read the fine print, folks. Learn from my mistakes. So I took my clay, getting down to business, and I opened that sucker. You like those decorating skills? Very festive. And I did one of the funnest parts of playing with clay. I just warmed it up and kneaded it, got it ready for some molding. I would have done an ASMR for you guys at this point, but I was listening to Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories in the background, so you couldn't really hear much of the clay. But I mean, if you want to hear the scary story part, you should check out his channel. That wasn't a sponsorship, by the way. So for my first shape, I thought I'd do candy corn, but it was much harder than I had thought it would be. But again, maybe it was just hard for me and anyone else could have done it, so please feel free to tell me how I could have gone about that. After about 5 minutes struggling with this, I realized it just wasn't gonna happen. But then I realized that this sort of looks like a finger, and what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think Halloween? Fingers! That was a joke. Nobody thinks that. So I decided to turn this into a severed witch's finger. And here you can see me using my sophisticated complex tools to put the shapes and creases into it. And by complex tools, I mean my hands and my fingernails. Anyway, here I go, just shaping it, trying to make it look as witch-fingery, I guess, as possible. And after I was satisfied with my results, I realized I forgot to add the color! So I destroyed the witch's finger, and then added the color to my sad lump of clay. And I just kneaded that in there. Once it reached a color I was satisfied with, I again began shaping it into a finger. Yes, a finger. Get your minds out of the gutter. Just adding all the creases and the knuckle lines and picking out where the fingernail would be. So to add the fingernail, I wanted to make it a gross gray color, so I used my black acrylic paint, just kneaded that into a small piece of white clay. I shaped it to the best of my ability. I know witches are stereotyped to have long, gross fingernails, so I tried to make it long and pointy. And a witch's finger would not be complete without a wart. So I made a gray wart, because I was too lazy to mix brown paint. So it was looking okay until I realized that I kind of splattered black paint all over it somehow. I'm still not sure how I did that. But anyway, here's the severed witch's finger. It's not my best work, but I don't think I have best work. And that's what this channel is all about, embracing your failures. Now I'm just adding on a coat of fast hardening clear nail polish. This'll make it crack once it's time to destroy it. And honestly, I can't wait to destroy this because it's just an abomination. Secret: you don't have to be self-conscious of your art if you're just making it to be destroyed. Oh, and look at that, I got black paint on the bottom of it too, apparently. This is why we can't have nice things! Now I'm moving on to my second shape. I decided to go with an eyeball. So I made, the actual eyeball part, whatever that's called, and now I'm making the iris, just adding some blue clay to a smaller piece of clay. And I'm just gonna knead the color into it. And once I'm okay with the result, I just flatten it right onto the eyeball part, and now I'm getting ready to make the pupil by doing the same thing but adding black. And now I'm just adding some white pieces for the highlights in the pupil. Here's the eyeball thus far, and as I was rotating it, I realized it was missing the veins. So I improvised and used a little sewing pin and red food coloring to paint on the veins. I'm honestly really glad I decided to add on the veins because it made it look a little bit better in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure I'm not that great at painting veins, but that's a useless skill. And here I go again with the clear nail polish, just putting on a few coats of that to make sure it cracks real nice. Just so you guys know, I should have said this earlier, I did take breaks between the coats of nail polish and I had an air purifier on, so I wasn't trying to, suffocate Marley or anything with the harsh fumes of the polish. She's okay. Also, in case you can't figure it out, Marley is the name of my dog. But yeah, because she was in the room, I was really careful to make sure that she wouldn't get hurt in any way. So for my third shape, I thought I would go with a Frankenstein's monster looking type thing. And I mean, like once you see what it looked like, you'll know why I can't really call it an actual Frankenstein's monster. In case you haven't noticed in my last few videos, my art skills are, well, poo. I gave him a very bad hairdo. Have you ever seen a Frankenstein with a mullet? Now I'm using my trusty sewing pin to add some texture to his horrible hairdo. You'll see the face reveal when I'm crushing it, so prepare yourselves for that. For the fourth and final shape, I wanted to use the rest of my clay so I didn't have any extra lying around to dry out, so I decided to use it to make a brain. Now I'm just looking like a freak trying to find the sewing pin I lost. But I gave up. So I shaped it again before realizing I needed to add color. So now I'm kneading in the color to make a brain kind of a pinkish, even though people say brains are gray. And instead of the sewing pin, I'm using a food coloring container to add texture. And honestly, like I wasn't sure this was going to work, but I thought it was pretty cool how it turned out. And this is the brain. Now I just need to add on some clear polish and let everything dry overnight. Hopefully that won't be letting it dry too long, but I guess we'll find out. So here are my shapes. Next morning, that's the Frankenstein face, isn't he gorgeous? But yeah. So I accidentally did like squeeze the eye a little too hard, and you probably can't see, but I did crack him a bit. I don't know why I said him. Apparently this eyeball is a male. But yeah, so I'm honestly kind of sad to see these get destroyed. I'm really hesitant about it. So maybe I'll just crack some of them. I don't know. And that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed me destroying my hard work. I sure know I did. That actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I'm pretty pleased with that. It was pretty satisfying, I have to admit. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry the backdrop for the clay creating was kind of boring and dull. I'll work on that, and I should have something better looking by the next video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Don't be afraid to leave any comments or suggestions as to how I can improve or what I should do next. I'll see you next time. Bye!